All right, so before we get into the video, I did want to give a shout out to our YouTube channel members and our Twitch subs. On YouTube, we have Zombie Cartman, Colt Snags 12, Feedy, and Only Good People. And over on Twitch, we have One Hot Mama and again, Colt Snags 12. Thank you guys for all your support. All right, let's get into this video. Wow, what did we just watch? Or I just watched the newest episode from episode 9, The Calm Before. And man, I was on the edge of my seat the entire way through. And there's some things that stood out to me like right after my first watch, and some things I wanted to talk about. But yeah, Boyd's going through with the plan. You know, that's all it took was Tabitha telling him that the man in yellow was back, that they'd had that conversation, and he was ready to do it. I agreed with it until we saw Victor's reaction. I think that Victor, they kind of because of Victor's childlike persona, I feel like they just kind of write him off too easily. Victor knows things, and I get that Boyd's scared, but choosing to not listen to Victor really, especially about the tree, because that's the part that bothered him, really has me thinking that they may not be doing the right thing. Now it did scare. Well, I think I was going to say it scared the man in yellow, Sophia, but I don't think it did. I think what bothers him is that it's Jade and Tabitha, because he does tell Clara, who was not Eloise, but he did tell, that was a great theory, by the way, but he did tell Clara that it wasn't what they were doing, it was doing there, it's how it's done. And yet he did have a deal with Clara. I guess when she got there, maybe we'll get that in a little bit of a flashback. I was kind of hoping we would get that this episode. It was a shorter episode, but maybe they felt like it was explained enough and they didn't need to show us. But apparently the man in yellow promised her that if she did what he wanted, that he would let her go home, which is interesting because why did the man in yellow choose her? Especially when she first got there. So that's interesting. Did that happen like before she ever found the town and other people, like maybe when she was first getting there? And that brings me to another thing I wanted to talk about. Nanny Variable made a comment on one of my recent videos that said, I think an interesting thing to mention is every time someone arrived at the town, they came across the tree in the road. That tree was ripped out with its roots. None of them were cut down, just like what Jade is planning. And that got me thinking, yeah, that's right. The tree was ripped out by the roots. Is that the faraway tree? Is that the bottle tree that you're getting ready to rip out? And what does that mean? They played with time a lot, especially we've seen that with Julie. And could the tree being ripped out actually in the present be what got them there in the past? Like to get there before the plan ever comes to whatever it's going to happen with it. I mean, I do think they're going to rip the tree down. Because we did see, I thought maybe Sophia or the man in yellow was going to be able to stop that from happening. But she was cutting the rope in the diner when they were putting the rope together. And so that tells me that she doesn't have the ability to stop them from doing this, or she doesn't want to stop them from doing this. Yeah, there's just a lot of things to think about this episode. Like I said, it had me on the edge of my seat, like right up until the credits rolled. I was just like freaking out for these characters. I'm worried about Elgin. I think if they were going to kill Elgin, it would have happened this episode. I think the man in yellow, Sophia, is probably going to make a deal with Elgin, just like he did with Clara. That he'll have to do something at some point. I would guess pretty soon, considering what's going on. But yeah, do you think Elgin is dead, or do you think there's going to be some kind of arrangement between Sophia the Man in Yellow and Elgin? And I guess Clara, because Clara will know that it's happened, and he'll know that Clara knows because he saw Clara there, saw them talking. Victor, is Henry going to? I mean, if Henry's going to do, if he's going to eliminate the anchor, Victor's a sitting duck. I mean, he's there in that cell and he can't get out. Henry can just come in and shoot him if he wants to, and Victor wouldn't even know that there was a danger there. I mean, we did see that he was talking to the graves of Eloise and Miranda and saying that there was something wrong with Dad, but I don't know that Victor would even question if his dad came to get him out, and then shoot him in the back of the head. I don't know. The Vision version of Victor said that the place would provide what he needed when he accepted it. Are we going to see that in the finale? I guess it's possible. Fatima, with what Clara did to Fatima, is this actually killing Fatima now? I thought they might use Fatima's ability to try to protect whoever went into the chamber, but it sounds like they have a pretty sound plan. The things didn't come charging into the chamber. The monsters didn't. So maybe that tarp and talisman plan will work. I don't know. They didn't come in, but Fatima looks to be in bad shape. Her hair's coming out, the veins are growing, and that got me thinking again about the children. If you saw the video I made earlier in the week, last week, this depends on when you watch it, but the week leading into episode 9, I did talk about how Fatima's veining on her stomach looks like what's on the children, and the children, they're missing hair, and Fatima's missing hair. Is this, they said that she should be dead according to her vitals, but are those really Fatima's vitals, or were they picking up on Smiley's vitals because they're connected? I don't know. It could be that it's Smiley's vitals, or it could be that Fatima's slowly dying. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the man in yellow was there before the children. Whatever he is, whatever that entity is, he was there and they poisoned the children with his blood. Maybe that's how they killed him. I don't know. I don't think they've ever told exactly how they sacrificed him, just that they sacrificed him. But that would be interesting if that's how they did. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know in the comments. But if did they ever actually show how they killed the children? Yeah, I'm worried about Fatima. I'm worried about Elgin. But let's talk about the plan going into this chamber. It started off, everything looked good. They got into the chamber. They put the tarp up. They put the talisman up. They they started digging and they found the bones. I thought they weren't going to be able to get the rock moved, the seal to the coffin, if you will, because that would be heavy. I don't think even with the crowbars that 2 people could move that. Just being from what the physical labor that I've done over my years, I just don't see that happening. But it did, and they got the bones, and then one of the creatures says, "I don't think you should be doing that," and then it cut the credits. So are we gonna I guess we'll see how that plays out first thing of next episode, or you never know what's from. They may take us on another journey, and we see just at the end of it what happens. But I'm worried about, so with the ladder being frayed, I think Tabitha's probably going to get out with the bones, and the weight of Jade, because him being a male, being heavier, I think that will cause him to fall back in, and he'll probably die next episode. That's what I'm thinking will happen there. Let me know what you guys think. What did you think of this episode? I thought it was just an amazing episode. Like I said, I was on the edge of my seat the whole way through. I'm going to watch it again and probably put out some more videos this week. If you guys like my From videos, please do all the YouTube stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have hypes, hype the videos, and I will see you in the next video.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me.